Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Coach Brian from the Hall of Gains. And again, I want to tackle a subject of a very, famous influencer. His name is Griffin Johnson. Apparently he's famous on TikTok. I don't think I've seen any of his TikToks, although he looked familiar, so I must have seen it somewhere. Maybe it was on Twitter or YouTube or something. I don't know. And he is training with Bradley Martin, who is a really big fitness YouTuber, and he's just huge in the industry, so it was really interesting to see. Now, I want to make this video on the subject because it brings up the topic of steroids and gains, growth, progress. How strong can you get when you are lifting weights in certain periods of time? And so people see Griffin Johnson. Obviously, he is a man of wealth because he's a huge TikTok guy, so he's going to have the money. And now he's getting really strong really quick, so everybody's saying, oh, this man is on steroids, SARMs, performance-enhancing drugs. And so I saw a title this morning, and it was Griffin Johnson gaining 60 pounds on his bench press in 2 weeks. And yeah, that does seem fishy, right? If you put 60 pounds on your bench press in 2 weeks, it is fishy. It really is. But for one, it's a lie. He didn't put on 60 pounds on his bench in 2 weeks. It was less weight and more time. It also leaves out the context of, one, he used to be strong, so now he has that muscle nuclei that used to, have him be that strong. So he's going to be growing at a faster rate. He has newbie gains, and then, like I said, he didn't put on that much weight on his bench. So he put on less weight, so he put less than 60 pounds, and more than 2 weeks. So first, I do want to talk about newbie gains and the fact that you gain strength incredibly quick when you are lifting weights in the beginning phase. It's just, how it works. There is a bit of misnomer. People don't realize that the more muscle you have doesn't really necessarily equal strength. You can see these super huge bodybuilders, whereas if you look at the world's strongest men, while yeah, they have a lot of muscle, they also have a decent amount of fat because mass moves mass. So basically, strength is kind of like your muscle and how much muscle neurons, it's muscle recruitment. How much of that muscle is being used? Like what percentage of that muscle is actually being contracted? So strength is different. Now, I remember this for my example. I'll go through my first client. Now, I wasn't a personal trainer. In fact, I was only 16 years old as my junior year of high school, but I was the strongest kid. I was all-state football. I was getting, letters from all these colleges. Everybody looked up to me like, oh, I know what I was doing because I was the strongest kid. And so they'd ask me for advice. Now, I actually took a kid under my wing and went through a strength training program with him where I was overseeing what he was doing. And this was all for free just because I wanted to help him and the program of my high school get better. And this guy was a freshman, so he was a noob. He had maybe barely lifted weights. He said he had went to a few of the weight training things in the summer, so he's a noob. And his first bench press max, I remember this clearly because I was like, holy crap, it's just crazy how fast you can get strong if you work hard in the beginning. And so pair that hard work with your newbie gains, you will get really strong really quick. So his first bench press max was 85 pounds. 2 weeks later, he did 95 pounds for 4 reps. And then 2 weeks after that, he did 115 pounds for 5 reps. So in just 4 weeks, so basically not even a month, he basically took his 1 rep max, did 30 pounds more than it, and was able to rep it 5 times. And of course, this guy is not on steroids. He's completely natural. This is just hard work and newbie gains. So that is a huge increase. And even in just a 2-week time period, going from taking your 1 rep max, adding 10 pounds to it, and repping it 4 times, that's a huge increase in strength. And then again, in another 2 weeks, he added 20 pounds to his max and did it 5 times. So newbie gains is insane. You will grow your strength incredibly high in the beginning. And that's what Griffin Johnson is kind of doing. He did say in the past he did used to be able to bench 285 pounds, which to me seems like he probably isn't that much of a noob, but he probably never fully used his newbie gains. So he probably has a little bit of newbie gains going on right now, and then the muscle nuclei, which is muscle memory. If you get your musculature to a certain level of size or strength, the muscle nuclei will kind of memorize that. So basically, when you first start training again, you will have a rapid growth increase of muscle compared to if you were normal. So I've seen studies that you can grow muscle at a several times faster rate because of muscle nuclei memory. So basically, he has Newbie Gains and he has the muscle memory. That's two things going for him of why he could be growing, in strength really, really quickly. And it's also the fact that, so I believe that everybody's saying he's gained 60 pounds. They say he went from 165 pounds on the bench to 225 pounds on the bench in 2 weeks. That is actually a lie. And even if it was, that is still nowhere close to what his max overall bench press was. So even though that 60 pounds in 2 weeks is still somewhat unrealistic, it's not out of the realm of possibility to do naturally, because 225 is still nowhere near his original 1 rep max in his prime. But this is where we get to the actual, what he actually did. It wasn't a 60 pound increase in 2 weeks. It was less than that, and it was about 6 weeks. The video of him doing the 165 pounds, which it was just he did 135 for 8 reps, and people have done the actual bench press 1 rep max charts to say he could do 165, because you've probably seen the charts. Put in how much weight you did, put in how much reps you did, and it'll calculate your 1 rep max. So I guess 135 for 8 reps is 165, even though seems somewhat right, although I think he could probably do a bit more based on that. But then he goes to 225, and the video is August 21st to October 5th. That is a 6-week difference. That's not 2 weeks. That is triple. So, again, that is very misleading to go from, say, 60 pounds in 2 weeks when it's really 6 weeks, and it's actually less. Because, guys, when he did the 135 for 8, Griffin Johnson was already fatigued. He did 4 sets of incline bench press before he did flat bench press. And if you look at the incline bench press, it's way more impressive than his flat, because he did that non-fatigue, whereas he did his rail bench press fatigued. He did 4 sets. He did 135 for 8, 135 for 8, 155 for 8, and 155 for 8. Now, if you look at it, Griffin Johnson, 155 for 8. If you can do 155 for 8 on flat, that means you're benching well over 165, but he did it on incline. As you all know, it is harder to incline bench than flat bench. For me, I don't think I ever got closer than 80% of my 1 rep bench max compared to my incline. I think my senior year, I could do 385 for my 1 rep max on the bench press, and then I could do 320, maybe 315 on incline. So it's a big difference, right? And he did 155 for 8 reps on incline bench. Now, so when you look at that, here, I'm just going to pull up my phone. I'll find a 1 rep max bench press chart, and we will see how much he could do 1 rep max on incline bench. This is what it says. If you can do 8 reps at 155 pounds, then your 1 rep max would be around 193 pounds. Now, when you look at that, 193 on the incline bench for his 1 rep max. Now let's do 193, and let's lowball to a 10% increase for the flat. So 193 times 1.1, you get 212 pounds. That's a 212 pound flat bench press versus 6 weeks later doing 225 pounds for 1.5 reps. So in reality, he didn't really increase that much in strength. This could be easily done naturally. This is just probably people jealous of Griffin Johnson because he is pretty strong for his size. And that's the thing, is he's likely natural here. These, at the very least, I will say, his strength gains are easily attainable naturally. Very easily attainable. They are not out of the realm of possibility. Could he be on steroids or any sort of performance-enhancing drugs? He could be, but if they are, he's maybe not doing something right, because you could easily get these type of gains. Like I said, 155 for 8 on incline, that going from 155 pounds for 8 reps on incline bench to a 1.5 reps at 225 on the flat bench, that's not that huge of a difference in 6 weeks. Because like I said, he could just do it on the 1 rep max chart. He could do 190 to 195 for a 1 rep max on incline, and then incline's harder than flat. So this is really not that crazy of a transformation. So I don't know if people are just maybe jealous of him. I know that, Tik Tok boys, because they're pretty boys, are often hated. So maybe that's why they want to say, oh, he's not natural. No, I think he's just probably naturally strong. He's working hard because these gains that he's getting are 100% attainable. Like I said, 155 pounds for 8 reps on incline versus 1.5 reps on flat for 225 on bench. It's not that huge of a difference for 6 weeks, not 2. This was on a 60-pound growth in 6 weeks. This was like a 20-pound growth in 6 weeks. Or it was not a 60-pound growth in 2 weeks. It was like a 20-pound growth in 6 weeks, which is still impressive. And for most people, if they weren't a newbie, this would be a sign for performance-enhancing drugs. Because if I improved my 1 rep max bench to 20 pounds in 6 weeks, that would be a sign of me being on performance-enhancing drugs. But he's not. He's just getting back into training. He has muscle nuclei. He has Newbie Gains, or muscle memory, Newbie Gains, and 20 pounds in 6 weeks. It's not that insane. So no, I don't think Griffin Johnson's on steroids based on his strength gains. As for his musculature gains, that is a bit more suspect. He looks very in much greater shape in the 2 months that he's been training with Bradley Martin. But then again, I think it's a mixture of things. Again, he showed a picture of him in the past when he was in his prime. He had more musculature from when he just started. So again, he still has muscle memory and Newbie Gains working for him. It's been 2 months. He could easily put on a few pounds of muscle. And the big thing, guys, is I always stress this. If you get more lean, you look more muscular, you look bigger. So he's definitely gotten leaner. So I think while his musculature, his actual physique, is a bit more suspect than his strength training gains, I still think he is probably natural. So that's just my thoughts from a personal trainer who has been a fan of the industry of fitness for a while. But let me know your guys' thoughts down below. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to hire me as a personal trainer, that link will be below in the description as well. Peace out.